Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening. Depends where you're at. My name is Rourke and welcome to Yokebusters. You know, a few people in my sphere lately have said to me, Rourke, what's this Yokebusters about? One was my son, and he said, what's this about, Dad? I said, well, honey, back in the day when the farmer used to get his oxen tied up to go out and be productive in the field, to till the soil, till the land, plow the field, plant the seeds, what did he put around their necks? He put a yoke. The yoke was designed to enslave those oxen for a time. And we're at a time in history, right, at this kind of mile marker, where we have got varying degrees and proportions, yokes around our necks, okay? So Yokebusters is about loosening the chains, loosening the yoke, freeing people up a little bit, freeing them up in their thought. And this channel is designed to lift people up, edify others, to share information, to share journeys, to share wisdom, to share insight, so we can have a dialogue. And we can have a dialogue about learning better discernment, learning to make better decisions, looking at the facts, sifting through and separating fact from fiction, and just having a dialogue that allows us, with statistical probability and intention, focused intention, to end up with better outcomes. Because I guess we'd all probably agree we could use a few better outcomes in our world today. We have been traumatized with carnage, with trauma, with fear, with erroneous information over this last 9-10 months. And this channel's not about spewing hatred, vitriol, and fear. It's not about that at all. It's about lifting one another up. It's about having a dialogue, getting people involved, doing interviews, letting people tell their stories a little bit, okay? And you're an important part of that, because you're an important part of this whole exercise at this time in history. Lots going on, and there's a lot of deception out there, and part of this process of this YouTube channel is to help people arrive at and determine their own path of truth, okay? Not about judgment, okay? Because regardless of what religious belief you might subscribe to, and that's fine, that's your kind of thing, what we're involved in right now is a war of duality. It's about a war between good and evil, regardless of what your faith might be. And we need to be aware that we're playing a part in that, and that we can change and alter the statistical probability of outcomes by becoming smarter, wiser, better discernment, better researchers, better decision makers, and asking better questions. Okay, so we're going to do it. We're going to launch this next week with a town hall with 3 business owners and 1 sales manager to talk about their journey the last 10 months, where they think they're at now, where they think we're going as a species. Because you know what? That's why the rear view mirror in your car is so small and the front windscreen or windshield is so big. So we can spend very little time looking back and a whole lot of time looking forward. That's what it's about, okay? Getting back to the asking better questions thing. One of my kids, and I got lots of kids, one of my kids is actually a project manager for a large organization, and she's actually the youngest project manager in the history of that company, so she's a smart carrot. And she said to me one day at breakfast, Dad, I could use some advice. Number one, I was glad she asked me for some advice, because that doesn't happen every day. But she said, hey, I've got this project team between the U.S. and the U.K. and trying to get it to gel and trying to get things to happen and trying to get everybody to help move the football down the playing field a little bit more. And she said she's struggling with it. And I said, you know what, honey? I said, I think you need to ask better questions. And she looked across the breakfast table at me and she said, Dad, I get that, okay? So we're going to help us get that, all right? Not about trauma, not about fear, about lifting us up. Because I tell you what, I honestly believe, based upon what I've studied like last decade and a half, I think we're headed to a good place. But the reality is, we got to wade through a few buckets of horse shit to get there, okay? Sorry about the swearing, but this is a 16 and older channel, okay? But anyway, we're going to get to a good place, but it's going to take human action. It's going to take a bit of hopium, because that's a good thing, but hope without applied action give you nothing, okay? So we need to be aware that by putting our feet, our legs, our muscles, our body, our vocal cords into action, we can change and alter statistical probability of outcomes. Because guess what? When we have that bit of hope coupled with a bit of action, this whole kind of global thing we're part of, this world, this universe we're part of, can allow for and provide for synchronicities to help us move to better places, okay? So I'm going to stop rambling on for the moment. We're going to have that town hall next week. We'd love to have you spend time with us. We're going to share, and if you got feedback on that, thumbs up, thumbs down, I ain't bothered, man, because we ain't trying to sell t-shirts and coffee mugs, and we're not trying to sign you up and put you on a drip every month, okay? It's all about empowering people and loosening the load of that yoke, okay? We hope to see you next week. Any questions in the meanwhile, drop us a message through YouTube. This is Rourke, signing out for now. Stay strong.